Estamos en una de las primeras reuniones que tenemos en Kentucky. Estamos ya regresando de la reunión que tuvimos con el alcalde de Lexington y vamos a empezar ahorita nuestra reunión con la gente de la Fairness Campaign aquí en Kentucky, en Louisville, en Kentucky. Ahí están todos mis compañeros.
Con cara de
Iván, Mike, veníamos, si nos ven un poco cuajados.
Sí.
Estoy yo.
My name is Michael Aldrich, and I am the executive director of the ACLU of Kentucky. It's the American Civil Liberties Union. You may or may not be familiar with the ACLU, but we are a nationwide organization that defends the U.S. Constitution as well as the state constitution here in Kentucky. So every state has its own organization, and I'm the head of the one in Kentucky. One of our big policy areas is LGBT rights, and we actually have been working on LGBT rights since the early 70s here in Kentucky. About 4 years ago, we formed a coalition with 4 other organizations in the state who also work on LGBT rights. And together, we developed a shared long-term goal, which is statewide non-discrimination protections. It's what we call fairness. In Kentucky, the term fairness has come to mean non-discrimination against lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender people in the workplace, in housing, and in public accommodations. So those are the basic protections in our state Civil Rights Act. And then that's a nice segue to Chad, who works for, I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Chad Stratton. I'm an investigator with the Kentucky Commission on Human Rights. I'm sort of different than the other members of the coalition in more than a few ways, in that I work for a government agency. Just to be very clear, there are currently no state protections for lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender people currently. But we're in sort of a different situation. We were created by the governor during our civil rights movement, which was mainly focused on racial minorities. But in the time since then, as the law has expanded, they've been adding different protected classes to the purview. Most notably religion, sex, disability, and age. Age, sex, religion, and disability. Because the law itself has been changing, our agency both enforces the current laws, but we have to be open to how life is lived out in the state and the sort of barriers there are to real equality in the state. About 4 years ago, our agency, in the form of the commissioners who were appointed by the governor, adopted a resolution calling for the protections for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people. Since then, we've been advocating for it, and we've been part of this group. We still haven't achieved those protections. But we do know what it would cost and how we would go about doing it, and that's sort of the role we fulfill in the coalition. Now I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Fairness himself, Chris.
I'm so happy you all are here. Thank you for being here. I'm Chris Hartman. I'm director of the Fairness Campaign. And it's the Fairness Campaign in which you sit right now. The Fairness Campaign is a 21-year-old civil rights organization. It was founded here in Louisville and was really founded to work within the city of Louisville. Though we do this work across the state of Kentucky now with our allies. The Fairness Campaign was founded with 2 main goals: to seek equal civil rights legislation for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender people, but also to dismantle systemic racism We feel that all issues of oppression intersect, that racism is classism, is sexism, is homophobia, and that as long as one of those oppressions persists, no oppression will ever desist, truly. So we were the organization that lobbied here in Louisville to get the first fairness ordinance in Kentucky passed. And that was what Michael was talking about, the law that says that you cannot fire someone from your job, you can't deny them a place to live, or you can't kick them off a bus or out of a restaurant if someone thinks that they're lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. We passed that law in 1999 here. So we were founded in 1991. It took us almost 10 years to pass that law here. And we became only the 26th city in the United States to have those types of fairness protections. And they were unique because we protected for both sexual orientation and gender identity. A lot of places when they pass the law will only do sexual orientation, but that leaves the transgender community without protection. So we did both at the same time. We beat New York City by even 3 years. It's our claim to fame. And so since that time, as Michael suggested, we've been working to get a law that covers the entire state of Kentucky. Because currently it's only our city of Louisville, the city of Lexington. I know you all met with Lexington's Mayor Gray, and then the city of Covington. So our 3 largest cities have those local laws right now. But that only covers about 25% of Kentucky's population. So we seek to pass that law to cover the whole state, and ultimately one day to pass a law that covers the whole nation. Right now, only 21 states have fairness laws, and Kentucky is one of the 29 states that does not. So we've been working in lots of small areas around Kentucky, seeing where we can get some support and ultimately pass some more local laws, but then get those places where we have support to bubble up to pass the statewide law. And we could talk forever about the work that we do in the state, but we're probably much more curious to know what you're curious about. And I'm sure that we would also love to hear some of the experiences that you all bring from Mexico, so that we can know what's working and what we should be doing differently too.